just told a reporter, really, this is the best day of the year. We're not here fighting anything. We're here celebrating.
Yay!
Oh, good, okay. Sorry, interpreter. Great disability rights advocate, huh? Anyway, thank you all again for coming. I am very pleased to introduce my good friend, except I don't see him here, Bill King, who I have known since forever, since I was a young woman. I don't know if I was even 20, when I was lucky enough to be introduced to him by another close family friend. And Bill has worked for many, many years for Creative Works Systems as an artist, really. But I knew that I was lucky enough to see Bill's castle. He built a real castle in Raymond, Maine, with a huge, like 5 stories, a huge elliptical staircase that went all the way to the top, and he did it all by himself. And so when he retired, semi-retired from Creative Works, their executive director, Heidi, hired him to do a couple of paintings. And when I saw pictures of those couple of paintings, I was blown away, and I realized that I had the sacred responsibility of getting some disability leaders down on canvas. Yeah. And that there wasn't anybody else that could do that the way that I wanted it done, except for Bill King. So we've started this. I hope that these paintings end up hanging in the Maine State Museum someday. That's where they belong. And I know there are a lot more disability leaders that need to be painted.
One's talking.
But we started with 3 that were very, very important in my life and the formation of my thinking around oppression and around the importance of changing the world, well, Maine, for people with disabilities. So we're going to unveil these paintings now for you. No one has seen them, even the people who were painted. They've seen photographs of them, but not the real paintings. So Bill is going to pin them, and then we will show them to you. All right.
Okay.
The first painting is of Gil Broberg, one of my heroes and best friends. The second painting is of Kathy McGinnis Meisner, who I have known since I was a young girl too, when she started the Maine Association of Handicapped Persons. And the third painting is of my mentor and best friend for life, Helen Bailey. And bear with us a little bit longer. I'm going to ask each of them to come say a few words about the importance of disability civil rights, or whatever the heck they want to talk about. Gil.
Turn around first.
Okay. Yeah, back to everybody.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. This is decidedly embarrassing. I am very humbled and very appreciative of this exceptional honor that the Disability Rights Maine, which I consider the premier disability organization in the state of Maine, has given me. It's kind of like a legacy. Maybe they're telling me something. But never had a picture painted quite like this, or I've never seen a photograph of me that's quite so expressive. So thank you, Bill, for doing this. Yeah, I've been disabled just about my whole adult life. I did have the fortune of being in the corporate world during most of that time. And one of the things I learned during that time, and I think it's important for everybody in this audience to know that, is that we cannot hide behind closed doors. We cannot be invisible to the population. We have to participate. We have to be active. We have to have pride in ourselves. We have to know that what we need to say needs to be heard. This has been my focal point my whole life, and I've shared it with Kim many times. We cannot be quiet. The ADA has been around since 1990. It was a great law. It's too bad that we need a law to be included in the way the country operates. We seem to, but it's now being eroded. People are attempting to cut back on its provisions. They want to make it easier for companies to get away with being not accessible. That was defeated this year. They're working also to move children out of the classroom back into having their own sessions rather than being included. So it is extremely important now for us to be all active, to quit being quiet, quit being behind closed doors, be knowledgeable of the issues, voice those, be on your own school boards, be on the planning committees, be involved in town politics, whatever it takes, but don't be quiet. And above all this fall, it's very, very necessary for us all to vote. We cannot sit back and think that somebody else can do it or somebody else is going to speak for us. We all have to be Disability Rights Maine. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And again, thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. I hope you heard his words. We all have to be active. Kathy.
Thank you, Kim. When Kim first called me and said that she was going to commission some paintings of disability rights leaders and activists, I thought she was kidding me, because Kim could sometimes kid you. And I said, "You're kidding." And I had mixed reactions to it because, as Gil said, we all knew other disability rights activists that we came from, and I already have told Kim I have a list that I would like her someday to make paintings of these people so that the next generation does not forget them, like Wina Sorgman and Gloria Davis and Steve Tremblay and some others. But in my heart, all I could think about was what my mom would say. I think Mom would be very proud and very excited, but she would also say to me the exact same thing that she said when we were on the lawn of the White House for the signing of the ADA back in 1999. What Kim just told me earlier is, this is a day to celebrate. Not be too political, Kathy. It's a day to celebrate. And then Gil gets a little political. But what my mom said to me that day as we were complaining about bits and pieces of the ADA not being perfect, she said, for once in your life, take a deep breath and honor who you are, where you've been, and more importantly, what more you have to do. That disability rights are human rights, and that is what you need to understand. You need to start talking about it, not just in terms of civil rights and laws, but in terms of human rights. And my friend Yoshiko Dot was standing nearby taking a picture, and she said, "I like that. We're going to use that." And we have used it ever since. So all I have to say is we do have the power. We have the power in the vote. We have the power in our voice. We have the power in our numbers. And we do need to fight every single little battle that comes our way. not let it go. Somebody's insulting you in a restaurant and tells you have to sit in a corner somewhere. Talk to them about it. If you are dealing with a child with a disability that needs services through the Bureau of Rehabilitation or needs help from Disability Rights Maine, connect them to that. It's very important that we live in the moment, but we not forget where we've been and how much more in this current environment we still have to do. My heart is so touched by this, I told Kim, and when I got the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it would be nice that it would be placed somewhere else, but my heart says it belongs where people with disabilities will see these three amazing portraits. And I've known Helen Bailey since I was 21, and Gil not quite as long, and I'll be 60 in December. So I'm hoping that we'll see a lot of more young people in the next several years up here too. So thank you all very much for coming, and I'm humbled and honored by this tribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. That was lovely. And finally, Helen Bailey. Do you want to say a few words?
Not really.
Now you be rowdy, Helen. You're retired.
Hi, and I have to, as with Gil, this is a little embarrassing being up here, and up here, and really humbled to be with Kathy McInnes, as I've known more than 40 years. It was Southern Maine Association of Handicapped Persons, and to be with Kathy and Gil in this little trio is really humbling. And I'm fully retired now from Disability Rights in Maine, and I worked there for some 30-odd years, and I miss it, and I miss that day-to-day feeling day-to-day passion for disability rights and working with people who feel similarly. But this is amazing to look out here and see this crowd, and I feel that I can go gracefully into my retirement and know that there will be active and aggressive advocates out there for disability rights and furthering the rights of individuals with disabilities. Thank you. And thank you to Kim. And thank you to Bill. It's lovely. I think you flattered me. I don't think I look that good in person.
Thank you, Helen. So just two more announcements. I think there's more pizza, and we don't want to take it home, so please bring your plates back out for another helping. And also, we didn't mean to put the Department of Transportation in the back of the bus here, but they are back there. And the reason that they're here is we know that we need to form a partnership with those who make transportation happen. They have information for you as a person with a disability to find out about what your transportation options are in the state of Maine. Also, though, they have a survey, which I think is vitally important for everybody to fill out so that we can let them know where people need to get. Because transportation is the biggest barrier that we hear about from our clients for 30 years. So anyway, I'll stop now. Thank you so much for coming, and come back next year and bring your friends.